Dear friends, once again, you are welcome to another exciting episode of Empowerment Points. And if you are new here, my name is Comfort Konfor. Today, as you can see in the studio, we have a very important personality. You just want to stay tuned and stay to the end. Watch, listen, take down notes. If you have questions, if you have any clarifications to be made, do not hesitate. Drop your comment on the comment section. I'll pick them up and I'll let him know that you still want some clarifications done. So as you know, I don't want to go further to say a lot of things because it's so exciting. And I'm just happy and honored to present to you our own Mike Ellis in the house today. Mike, you are very welcome to Empowerment Talks.
No, thank you, Comfort. This is a real joy for me. And I've seen some of the other stuff you've been doing, Comfort, and you are a rising star. Don't stop what you're doing.
Oh, thank you so much.
Oh, you're welcome. You're welcome. And obviously, we're here to talk about ONPASSIVE. And I'll give you a little background on how I got to the place where I'm at today. And it really started about 10 years ago. To start with, I'm a man of faith. I don't believe there are accidents. And about 10 years ago, I met Marty DeGarmo, and most of you know Marty. He's a well-known face out there.
Sure.
And the chances that Marty and I would get together and actually start working online were 1 in a million. So I don't think this is chance. And as I got to meet Marty, we hit it off really almost immediately because we had kind of the same mindset. We were thinking about the same things. And as I listened to Marty and started to work with Marty, and he would be very, very reluctant to take this title, but he is an absolute genius online. And I don't need anybody to tell me that. I've worked with Marty for 10 years. I know what he does, and he thinks way outside the box. And of course, when we first got it started, we had to, because we didn't have any money. We had to think way outside the box. But between Marty and I, we had some skill sets that were pretty good. And then after about 3 years, we brought Dan Street into the mix. And Dan he's not as out front as Marty and I are, but Dan is an integral part in what Marty and I do. And as we brought Dan in, Dan just had a different skill set than Marty and I had. And when you put the three of us together, really not a whole lot we can't do online. And as we got together and we started working, we all came up with the same conclusion that what we were doing, although we could be very, very successful at it, it was really, really difficult to bring people in and make sure they were successful. And we were really, really frustrated, 4, 5, 6 years into what we were doing. And Marty and I and Dan, we really thought, okay, there's nothing out there that will allow us to bring people in and guarantee their success. There just wasn't out there. And initially we thought, okay, we need to develop something. We need to build something. And as you all know, if you start doing that online, it gets very, very expensive. And Marty, Dan, and I, we didn't have that kind of money. Now, again, I don't think anything happens by chance. And although we had all heard of Ash Bufara, some of us, between Marty and I, we had even heard him speak, but we weren't convinced what he was doing was real. And Marty talked to a few people, and Marty is Marty, and he just jumped in. And if you've listened to Marty, you know what I'm talking about.
Oh, that's why I'm laughing.
That's exactly right. It didn't take him long. He contacted myself and Dan, and probably within 5 minutes, Dan and I were in. And what we found is really kind of a kindred spirit. Now, we couldn't do what Ash was going to be doing. Ash had the experience, he had the success, he had the money. He's 1 in a billion. He just has that vision that very few people have. And when Marty and I started to listen, and Dan listened to Ash and his vision, what we couldn't find online, we just found. And the main thing about what Ash was doing was building and developing a company. And as it started out, it was a lot smaller than it is today, but he was building and developing a company where people could come in, and I don't care who you are, I don't care where you are in the world. We are a worldwide family. We have people all over the world. If you come into ONPASSIVE and become a founding member of ONPASSIVE, you will succeed. And when I say that, and I'm a little bolder than most, I'm talking about your financial bottom line. It's going to get taken care of. You're not going to worry about finances. And that's why Marty, Dan, and I, when we talk about ONPASSIVE today, we're as excited today as we were 2.5 years ago. And in that 2.5 years, what has happened with ONPASSIVE will just blow you away. And I know, Comfort, you know this probably better than most.
Right.
What Ash has done over the last 2.5 years, it's extraordinary, really is.
Yeah.
So we're really excited about being where we're at. I'll turn it over to you, Comfort, and you can kind of guide this conversation wherever you like.
You have already said a lot of things of interest, because I call this platform empowerment platform. And my inspiration comes from Ash and ONPASSIVE. That's the biggest empowerment tool I've ever seen in my life, right? So people share their experiences, their life stories here, and it really gets to empower people, me in particular, and people who watch this. So the meeting, when you met Marty DeGamo and Dan Street, what you explained to me, I see a team, a big team, right, in the three of you, because you brought together a blend of various skills put together to make something before you finally met Ash. I just wish to understand, how is it like? What are the advantages working as a team, and what have been some of your challenges before you finally met ONPASSIVE, the three of you?
Yeah, that's a really good question, Comfort. And I love the platform empowerment, because that's what ONPASSIVE is all about, empowering people. When you talk about Dan, Marty, and I coming together, creating a team, it really boils down to the skill sets that we developed over a long period of time. And with those skill sets, you can do just about anything online. There isn't a company we can't get involved with and do very, very well with. And it's because of the 15 years that Marty and I have been online, a little less for Dan, and those skill sets, knowing what to do and knowing our audiences. People, when they look at Marty, Dan, and I, they don't understand. We started right where you're at. When I came online, I was so naive and thought, well, this is easy. I can come online, I can make a living, and I don't have to dig ditches, that type of thing. But it took 15 years to develop everything, bring the team together, develop our relationships and how we intermix and how we do things, which is a really interesting story. I don't think we have time to go into that today. But it's all very, very fun what we do. And I think that's one of the reasons we've been able to stay together as long as we have. It's fun for us. We enjoy what we're doing. And when you can put a team together like Dan, Marty, and I, you have the capability of doing pretty much whatever you want to do online. And there are millions of things you can do online. But like I said, I don't think there are any accidents. I think this was divine in my mind, bringing Marty and I together, then Dan, and then Ash. The dominoes just fell. And Marty and I were just going, wow, this is what we've been looking for 15 years. Right. So the team part of Marty, Dan, and I, it's really difficult to do. Most people online that are very successful, they're lone wolves. They figured out how to do one or two things, and they do it over and over and over and over again. And they don't help very many people, but they make a lot of money. When you add what Marty, Dan, and I have with ONPASSIVE, it's dynamic. It's unbeatable. You put Ash Mufareh into the mix, and Ash is always telling us, Comfort, and you'll know this. Always think bigger. Whatever you're thinking, think bigger. And because I've been in front of Ash for 2.5 years, he's right. If your goal is to make $500 a month residual income throughout the year, that's a really terrific goal, but you're thinking too small. It can be so much more than that. Not only can it be? It will be much more than that.
Right.
So I don't know if that answered your question or not.
Sure, perfectly, really okay. Perfectly. I'm just very, very satisfied with the response. And that said, you know, you said since 2.5 years that you have known Ash, you are still as excited as you were when you met him the very first time. This is taking us to a question that you were not expecting, but I can't stop asking it because people ask me. And so I ask you because, you know, and before I go ahead, I would like you to know that I'm learning a lot. I've learned just so much from here, what you've said. I've just understood from what you're telling me now that persistence is the key because you do it over and over and over, then the fun, and then that is how you succeed. Because I'm just starting now, and I was thinking that, oh, am I late starting to do this thing now? But you have been there for 15 years. I think if I follow your footsteps, I can get there someday, right? So
no, Comfort. You're already there.
Are you sure?
You just don't know it. But you're already there. When I don't say this to too many people, Comfort.
Oh.
You are a rising star. I've seen some of your other interviews. I've seen what you do, your knowledge about ONPASSIVE, and the way your ability to transfer that to people. If people don't understand that, they need to, because you want to hook your wagon to a rising star. Believe me, I know what I'm talking about. I hook my wagon to Marty, and here's where we're at. But you want to hook your wagon to a rising star, and Comfort, you are that rising star. And I mean that sincerely. I really do.
Oh, thank you so much, Mike. That's encouraging. So, like, let's go back now to the business, right? Like I said, I was going to ask a question which you are not expecting, but you will answer this question. You have been there. You are still as excited as you met Ash 2.5 years ago. But the question, like, some people are like, oh, I think it's time I take back my money. I'm not sure why is ONPASSIVE not yet launched. What would you be telling people when they ask you this kind of a question?
Yeah, we get that question a lot, Comfort. If you plug into ONPASSIVE, and you have to understand, this is all I've done for 2.5 years. And remember, in the 2.5 years, I haven't made a dime with ONPASSIVE. How can you say you're more excited in 2.5 years than you were when you started? When you plug into ONPASSIVE and you start to understand what Ash Mufareh is doing and has done, and by the way, ONPASSIVE is a reality today. It's no longer a dream, a wish and a dream. It's a reality. But when you see what Ash is doing, has done, is doing today, and the progression of ONPASSIVE over those 2.5 years, you get very, very excited. Yeah, you get excited for Ash Mufareh and ONPASSIVE, but you get very, very excited about what's coming. And if you were in 2 years ago, yeah, it's been a long haul. And you had to stay very, very patient. But if you've been in 6 months or 3 months or a year, get over it, because we're there, and we're in the process of going into the soft launch and the hard launch. Right now, we're in the pre-launch, and you've probably gone over with your people about the launch of ONPASSIVE. If you think it's time to launch ONPASSIVE, let me run a little analogy by you. I've seen people come online, and in a very short period of time, they've built a site, they've done whatever they do, and in a very short period of time, they've started to make money very, very quickly, within 3 to 6 months. And these individuals are very successful, and they make high 5, 6-figure, 7-figure incomes a year. Okay. What I call these individuals are 5 and dime shops. Okay. Even though they're very successful and they make a great deal of money, it's 5 and dime. Okay. When we think about ONPASSIVE, and as we launch to the world, again, I believe it's going to be this year. We're not talking about a 5 and dime. We're talking about a multi-billion-dollar company. Okay. This has never been done in the history of business. This has never been done in the world. To have a company that launches to the world as a multi-billion-dollar company. So when you look at these little sites over here that do very well, yeah, that's great. If you have the skill sets to do that, go ahead and do it. But it's very, very difficult to do. With ONPASSIVE launching to the world as a billion-dollar company and sharing the majority of the wealth with the founding members, and Ash Mufareh is going to share the majority of the wealth with you and I. That's an exciting place to be. And because Ash has taken the amount of time he's taken to get to where we're at, the quality that he's going to put out to the world is going to be unprecedented. That's all very, very important, because if the quality isn't there in the product side, everything else falls apart. That won't happen with ONPASSIVE. And for me, and this is for me, people don't need to freak out when I say this, it would be fine with me if Ash took another year to launch.
Right.
And I know people right now they're just freaking out. They're going, what are you talking about? Now, that's not going to happen. But for me, because I know what's going on, because I know what's coming, if it took another year, I'd be fine, because I know the day after that year, I know where I'm going to be. And by the way, it's a good place. It's a very good.
Exactly.
Yeah, so
I know.
That's why I'm always excited, Comfort.
Right. Thank you so much, Michael. I think I should ask a few people this question, because there was engineer Michael here 2 days ago. When I asked him this question, he gave this analogy of a pregnant woman. You know, he says ONPASSIVE is like a pregnant woman who's bearing 50 babies. So it takes a bit longer. So I think it's just
that's exactly right.
Exactly. So I get it. So when you get to understand ONPASSIVE, you can wait as long as you are saying, which I understand too.
Yeah,
so
and my recommendation for people is plug in. There's so many things happening on a daily and weekly basis right now. Now, I know Ash hasn't come and done a webinar for maybe a couple of weeks,
right?
But you have to understand what he's doing right now. We don't want him on a webinar. We want him doing what he's doing. Because as soon as he gets done, we're into soft launch and then hard launch. And by the way, that's going to happen very, very quickly now. It really is. But we want him working.
Yeah. All right.
He's not going to like hearing that, but get to work, Ash.
Exactly. I know. Yeah. So, one of the things, the way I look at ONPASSIVE, I say it's a school and it equally a kind of a new life. And you need to study to understand this life so you can live it to the fullest. So I'm taking you to the study session of it. You are going to explain a lot of terms for our people to understand. Some people don't get the fun because they don't understand small things, which you are going to help explain now, right? So, like when you say ONPASSIVE is a subscription-based business or a customer-based business, what does that mean?
Okay, as ONPASSIVE launches to the world, we're founding members. We're all in ONPASSIVE. Okay, as ONPASSIVE launches to the world, all the founding members have to come into ONPASSIVE. Okay, now the way all of us are going to come in, we're going to be customers. Real simple. We're going to be customers, and we'll come in and pay the subscription fee. We think it's going to be right around $250. Okay, might be a little more, might be a little less. So you're going to have to pay that. That subscription fee is a monthly fee. So you have to pay it month after month after month after month, all the way until there is no ONPASSIVE. Okay.
Right.
But here's the neat thing about the structure of ONPASSIVE. Okay. Yes, we come in and pay the $250. But because Ash has structured ONPASSIVE in a way that benefits us, we come in, we pay the $250. We only pay it once. From there, the preceding months will be paid from the profits, the commissions we're going to make from ONPASSIVE. Mm-hmm. It really is that simple. You'll pay it once, you'll never have to pay it again. Now, that doesn't include the founder's fee. The founder is a $97 position. You come in, lock yourself in the company and the pay structure. And we can talk about that if you want to, Comfort. But as far as the subscription fee, we come in as customers, we pay the $250, we get all the tools of ONPASSIVE. And then from there, ONPASSIVE will go to work for all of us. Right. As the profits come in, that'll pay the next month's fee.
All right. So
that makes sense?
Yes, please. Of course, it makes a lot of sense. And many people are still bothered about the 3 and it's free and all of those. Could you still throw some more light to that, please?
I sure can. Okay. Free or 3 and free, throw it out the window. I don't even want you to think about it. Okay.
Right.
All I want you to think about is as you come in and pay the $250, you will never have to pay that again because of the way ONPASSIVE is structured. Okay. Now ONPASSIVE, when they go to work for you, and I'll just go over this very, very quickly. I know you all know this. They're going to build a marketing platform for us. Okay.
Yeah.
They're going to hook it up to AI, artificial intelligence, and it's going to be 100% automated. Okay. When they do that, they're going to start driving traffic for all of us. As people come in, eyes get in front of what we're doing, like it, buy. Those customers, a certain percentage of them will land underneath you. That's how we get paid. Whether they're an independent reseller, whether they're a customer, it doesn't matter. If they land underneath you in your organization, that's how we get paid. There will be enough people coming in all of our organizations to take care of the monthly fee without any problem whatsoever. So the 3 and free, just throw it out the window. And when you hear someone refer to it, just ignore them.
Right.
Just ignore them. It's irrelevant.
All right. Thank you. I think I'm more comfortable with this response. I think this is the best response so far I've gotten with 3 or 3, because that is how I feel about it too. I don't care. I'm just working towards getting my 250.
I mean, when you get 3 customers or 3 independent resellers, the IT product, yes, the next month is paid for, plus you're making some residual income, but that's so tiny. I mean, it's like you didn't do anything. Nothing's happened yet. You want to get excited about hundreds of customers coming into your organization, not 2 or 3, hundreds. And because of what ONPASSIVE does, that's going to happen. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Oh, that sounds really good and it's very comfortable to me. And whoever is watching this, I hope they just not like I am doing, because I find it really really interesting. So one of the things, I have listened to you like for as long as I know you. Each time you do your presentation, I give very keen attention, because everything you say is very, actually you are the one who has been training me though, because I look at what you do and then I try to do my
I appreciate that, Comfort.
Yes. So like when we know that we have 50 products and counting, and they are all hooked in the ecosystem. But most of the time, or every time you're doing your presentation, you make me understand that when you are naming our products, one of them you call is AI. So how is it that artificial intelligence could be considered one of the products? Or just tell us a bit more about that, please.
Yeah. Let's talk about the products a little bit. AI is one of the products of ONPASSIVE. It will be integrated in all of the products of ONPASSIVE. It won't be a standalone. It will be integrated. And when you think about AI, all it is machine learning. Okay. It's not like it's an autonomous thing out there that learns everything on its own. We have people that program AI and tell them what to learn. And that's what AI does. It learns how to do specific things online. And it will be integrated in all the products of ONPASSIVE. And when we talk about the products of ONPASSIVE, we know there are products that people are going to buy. Those are the ones that most people focus on, whether it's Ocademy, an educational platform, or OStaff, HR platform, or OConnect, a Zoom platform. And they're really, really important. And they're built from the ground up, proprietary. They are superior at a lower price point. That's really important, because people that use these products online today will come into ONPASSIVE because they are superior and because they don't have to spend as much. Believe me, we're all the same. We don't like to spend any more than we have to. I don't care if you're in South America, North America, Africa, Europe, wherever you are. We don't like to spend more than we have to.
Exactly.
And ONPASSIVE is going to make that possible for everybody online. They're going to have something for everybody online. So the paid products, really, really important. And they're very, very large niches. If you look at Ocademy, and this surprised me when I first saw it, I thought, well, it's a nice niche. People will come in and use it. It's a $250 billion a year revenue. Wow. That's one massive product of ONPASSIVE.
That's massive.
That is massive. I mean, what if ONPASSIVE takes 50% of that? I mean, remember, all of this money is coming to the founding members. If they do $125 billion worth of business in Ocademy, boom, That's coming right to us. Yeah, one product.
Right.
And all of their niches are like that. Their paid product niches are like that. So they're massive. But there's another type of product that people just kind of gloss over, Comfort, and that's the free products.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, this is a really, really big deal. Whether it's ONET, which will be their social media platform, whether it's OMail, those are the two I know of. I think there'll be more than that.
Mm-hmm. So
but every time you invite someone to a free product,
mm-hmm.
and they come in and join, say you on ONET in your social network platform, they're tied to you. They're coded to you in ONPASSIVE. If they're not coded to anybody else, if they're not a founding member, if they're not a customer, if they're not coded to anybody else, they're coded to you. And the interesting thing about the free products, ONET, the social media platform, Marty, Dan, and I have watched these for 10, 12 years. We know how they work. And if you bring in one or two or three people, they come in and they use the platform and they love it because they have control. No one's trying to sell their information. No one's trying to manipulate them. They just love the social media network. They can come on, share pictures, photos, content, whatever. They're going to share it. And again, this individual is coded to you. Maybe they bring 10 in. If they bring 10 in, they're coded to you. If those 10 bring in 100, they're coded to you. If those hundreds bring in 10,000, they're coded to you. All of a sudden, the numbers start to get really, really big. And because all these individuals are coded to you and they're on the ONET social media platform, ONPASSIVE has a way to very unintrusively put the ONPASSIVE products in front of them. So over time, some might buy in a day or a week, some might buy in a month or a year. It doesn't matter. Mm-hmm. If they buy 5 years down the road, every time they buy, all of a sudden that's a residual income. So your residual income just goes boom, boom, boom. That's where we want to be. Right. So the free products are really an interesting aspect. And again, Ash Mufareh, it's genius. It's absolutely genius what he's done for us. So yeah, the product side, absolutely love it. Love the product side. Mm-hmm. I love the number side even better. When you start talking about the numbers, I don't know anybody that doesn't get excited. Nobody.
Do you want to say something a little bit about the numbers?
Okay. Let's talk about the viral effect to start with, because that kind of ties into what I just talked about.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. And then I'll get into some other numbers too, Comfort. But the viral effect is a really interesting aspect. Marty, Dan, and I, because we've been doing this so long, we have seen the viral effect. And when it happens, it is a beautiful thing. Let me tell you, it is absolutely beautiful. And all it is as you market, as you promote, you bring in one individual, and that's where it starts. Mm-hmm. It starts with one person. And all of a sudden that person goes to 2, and then to 4. And then the compounding dynamic comes in. And I can tell you, Marty and I, and this has happened more than once, we started a marketing campaign. Again, we started with 1, and in 4 months, we had almost 1 million people looking at what we were doing. That's the viral effect. And the viral effect can happen to each and every one of you because of what Ash has done with the free products. Mm-hmm. It's so easy to invite people in to do something free. My first 5 years online, I was a master at giving things away. Didn't make a dime, but I was a master at giving things away. The nice thing about what Ash is doing, you bring people in, you give it away, and then ONPASSIVE goes to work, and let them go to work for you. They are the best of the best. And over time, 6 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, just that little thing that you do, having it go viral, it's game over. It's a fun thing.
Game over. Fun. Wow. That's very, very exciting. So I just find it really good. And I hope whoever is watching us, please, you better take a decision before you regret, because the $97 you keep now, you may regret it the rest of your time. That's how I'm looking at it. So You just talked about there's this idea of like, because some people say, if for example, if I have a business already, I have a business online on passive, can improve on that business, can boost it and make it succeed and so on. And on the other hand, if you don't have any business at all, on passive will create a business on your behalf. How does that function? Is it just like exactly what you have already explained, or is there any more information to that we need to know, please?
Yeah, no, you're right on, Comfort. What you just said is absolutely true. For most people, they're going to come in and they're going to come into ONPASSIVE with the expectation of building a residual income. That's what ONPASSIVE does. For most people, that's what they're going to do. So yes, they're going to come in and ONPASSIVE is going to build their business for them. But there's another subset of individuals out there. They already have a business. And we have people that we do webinars with weekly, monthly, and they're in love with some of the companies that they're working with right now, and for good reason. They have a really, really good product, whether it's health and wellness or potions and lotions, whatever it is, and they're really passionate about it. And the question is what you just raised, Comfort. Can they bring that on the ONPASSIVE platform?
Exactly.
That company on there, and then let ONPASSIVE build that company for them? And the answer to that is yes, to a point. Okay. Now, most of these companies, when you get involved with them, they're very good at developing content. So obviously ONPASSIVE isn't going to develop content for another company. So as you bring that company online, you have to use their content. And most companies have a lot of it. They have landing pages, they have sales pages, they have all kinds of stuff that you can bring onto the ONPASSIVE platform and use. Not only that, but you get to, because we're coming in and we're participating with ONPASSIVE, we have all the tools of ONPASSIVE. And the automated marketing platform, all those tools are there. You can set up a page builder, a funnel builder, an autoresponder. You can do Zooms. All the things that you use to market online are there. So you can bring that company on, use the tools of ONPASSIVE to build a marketing platform, because ONPASSIVE is not going to do that for you. But all the tools are usually there to build a marketing platform. And then we get to the very important part, really the most important part of everything that we do, and that's the traffic. As you come in and you've put your company on the platform, ONPASSIVE is going to drive traffic specifically for you, and it's going to be targeted traffic. Now, if you're a hairdresser in Poughkeepsie, wherever that is, and you want advertisement to be very, very local, maybe within a 6-mile area, okay, you go, well, that's really hard to do. Can they even do that? Yeah, they can do that. They can narrow it down into a 100-yard area. That's how good ONPASSIVE is about driving traffic. Okay. If you're worldwide, they can go whatever country you want to go into, whether it's in Africa, whether it's in South America, whether it's in Europe, does not matter. And the traffic is the important part of having a successful business. So you're bringing another business, putting it on the ONPASSIVE platform. They're driving traffic for you specifically for that business. And you will see a matrix. Is the traffic working or isn't it working? Am I making money or am I not making money? And because of the quality of the traffic that ONPASSIVE is going to be driving to that business, you're going to be making money. It gets better than that. Okay. If you're in love with this business, that's great. ONPASSIVE is going to help you grow it. And that's a terrific thing. Okay. But here's what's happening down below on the undercurrents. And you know this, Comfort. I can see that smile. What ONPASSIVE is doing while they're doing this for this company, they're also building ONPASSIVE for you. Okay. And it's slowly growing and it's coming. All of a sudden you see it's out of the water and it keeps growing and growing. All of a sudden you've got your company here and ONPASSIVE is up here. You're making more money with ONPASSIVE than you ever did with this company. And this company, because you're passionate about it, will become a hobby. You want to get the product in front of people because it helps people and you like to see people benefit from what you have. But the real money's up here in ONPASSIVE, and it'll get you to a place where this can be a hobby because you don't worry about money anymore. It's a really cool dynamic with bringing another company on with these. And I know individuals, all they want to do is promote this company, but I know what's going to happen. And what's going to happen, and they're just going to be smiling. It's going to be fun to watch.
Right.
So
Exactly.
hopefully that explains how you bring that company in and what ONPASSIVE will do for you.
Exactly. It really does. But Mike, I'm sorry, I really need to tie you down here because there's one more thing I want to understand about this.
I'll go anywhere you want, Comfort.
Yes, let's use an example of, let's say Mary Kay, right? If
Okay.
Mary Kay is coming, are you expecting Mary Kay as a company, or can a distributor bring their business there just as a consultant? Or does it have to register as Mary Kay company? Or if I'm a consultant, can I register my business, my Mary Kay business on ONPASSIVE?
Yeah. As an individual, yes, you could bring Mary Kay onto the marketing platform and do everything that I just described.
Yeah,
but
right.
it's bigger than that, Comfort.
Right. No, I think I get it really
Yeah.
well. Thank you.
Ash Mufara, he hasn't said this, he hasn't told anybody this, but I'm pretty sure I know what he's doing.
Right.
Ash Mufari is talking to some of these really big companies. Okay. Whether it's a Mary Kay or whether it's a Herbalife or you can pick any other company. It doesn't have to be in networking or anything like that. He's talking to these big companies, and there are already companies lined up that will be coming in. Now, for you and I who are founders, why is that an exciting event? Well, it's exciting because we're talking about maybe bringing in 5 million people,
right?
10 million people. Where do those people go?
Under us.
Yeah, they go under us.
That's our those are our apples.
There, lots and lots of apples, Comfort. We love our apples.
Sure.
So I'm pretty sure Ash has already talked to some pretty major hitters.
Right.
And they will be coming in. I can tell you on my own team, because Marty, Dan, and I have done it, we know Ash, we're never ahead of Ash. Ash is always one step ahead of us. We have hitters on our team that we know when we go into soft launch, because that's what they've been waiting for. They want to see the product. They want to use the product. In soft launch, you're going to be able to do that. They're going to bring 10,000 people in. We already know that.
That's crazy, huh?
Yeah. Now, does that just benefit Marty, Dan, and I? No. It benefits everybody below us. It benefits everybody above us. We have people above us. They're dancing the jig. They know what's coming. But the people down below, they don't see it yet, but it's coming. And we're not the only ones doing that. If you look throughout ONPASSIVE, there are big teams that are doing the same thing that Marty, Dan, and I are doing. You might wake up the day we hard launch with 10,000 people on your team. You might wake up with one. Obviously, it's better to wake up with 10,000, but if you wake up with one, you're still going to get to that place where you don't worry about finances. That is ONPASSIVE. Right. So yeah, it's pretty exciting stuff.
Everybody wins, right?
Everybody wins.
That's really cool. That's so interesting. I just really do appreciate your explanations, because they're so simple and down to earth that anybody can understand. So this is really helpful. We're almost approaching the end, but I can't stop asking you questions. I don't know.
Comfort, we can go as long as you want. We can go as long as you want or as short as you want. That's up to you.
All right. So because I still have a few stuff here, because there are times you still go to your back office and you see some people have not signed their non-disclosure agreement and so on and so forth. What is that actually? Explain what is non-disclosure agreement and why is it important to sign it?
Okay. The non-disclosure agreement protects the company. Okay. They have to put all that in there because of their legal team. And that was drafted by their lawyers. It's to protect the company. Now, it's also to protect us because it gives us the ability to know what we can and what we can't do. So if you're in ONPASSIVE and you have the inclination to build like Comfort, and you're as good as she is, which is rare,
thank you.
The non-disclosure is going to tell you what you can and can't do. Okay, so it's there to protect the company. If you do not sign the non-disclosure agreement, does that mean you're not in ONPASSIVE? No, it doesn't. Okay, you're still a founder of ONPASSIVE, but until you sign that non-disclosure agreement, ONPASSIVE is not going to go to work for you. Okay, you're going to be there, you're going to be in a great position, but you need to sign the non-disclosure agreement so ONPASSIVE can go to work for all of us. Now, as we get into the soft launch, the new site will be up. The new founder site will be up. That's OFounder. When OFounder comes out, we have to go back in and we have to sign the new non-disclosure agreement. That will be the non-disclosure agreement that we will take into the hard launch. Really, really important. We want to protect ONPASSIVE. Absolutely. We want ONPASSIVE to have tremendous longevity for the next 20, 30 years. They do this to have that longevity so that when we do the hard launch and you start making money, which is going to be very, very soon, ONPASSIVE is protected. Nothing's going to happen, and we're going to have that longevity. So I hope that made sense.
It makes perfect sense. It makes perfect sense, Mike. Thank you so much. Yeah. So, all right. I think you have just answered it. I was going to break it into parts, but it's like you read my mind and you just went ahead and answered it. The whole question that I had about NDA, and it's very comfortable. So before we go ahead, I don't know, do you just want to use this opportunity, because as excited as you and I are, Mike, some people still think that we are crazy. But then we can't stop sharing this vision, because as long as Ash says there is still room, it means he is still so generous as to accept many people. So what would you have to tell people who know about this and they are still sitting on the fence for one reason or the other?
You know, we've talked about the launch and we're there. Don't get freaked out about the launch. Ash is going to take the time he needs. It's not much longer, guys. It's just not much longer. We really are very, very close. I love the numbers of ONPASSIVE, Comfort. I really do. I love the numbers. And Ash Mufareh is keeping the compensation plan very, very close to his vest. Okay. He does not share that with people. Now I've heard a few things that I can't talk about. Okay. But I can talk about the numbers a little bit. Okay. And I want you to keep in the back of your mind just the idea of compounding. Okay. Ash and his team have put this compensation program together, and it gets repetitive, but it's still true. It's genius. The way the numbers work for ONPASSIVE, when we're able to look at those numbers at the hard launch, they're going to blow you away. And, yeah. And the one thing I will share with you is compounding. If you were to, what I'm going to tell you right now, okay, there are no guarantees. This is just for illustration. Okay. I'm not talking about ONPASSIVE, what it is directly, indirectly, whatever. But I want to talk about the compounding and how it can work for you. If you're in ONPASSIVE, and let's say your organization doubles every month. In other words, ONPASSIVE is bringing in one individual for each individual in ONPASSIVE. And he does that for a year. In a year's time, you're going to have about 2,000 people on your team. That's really, really good. And if we keep it very, very conservative, let's say ONPASSIVE is paying $3 per person. If we look at that first year, you would make about $12,000. That's not earth-shattering. I know there are a lot of people that are going to want to make a lot more than that. But let's draw it out another year. And again, if you ever listen to Michael Williams, and Michael Williams he's just a phenom. He's really, really good. I love Michael. Absolutely love him. He's good. He's really good on the numbers.
Yeah.
But if we take that same scenario out another year, so it's 2 years, and we look at the amount of money you would make in 2 years, and this isn't as conservative as I should be. At the end of that second year, your last month, you would make over $300,000 that month, not the year, that month. Okay. This is all about compounding, and it's your team doubling every month. Now that's not terribly conservative, but if we look at it and we get very, very conservative, and let's say ONPASSIVE brings in one person for each individual every 3 months. And as we look at that scenario, it really ties in to the 3-month time frame. In other words, we're looking at a time frame of 3 years and what happens at the end of that third year.
Mhm.
The first year you would have 256 people on your team, and you'd make about $1,500 that last month. So again, it's not earth shattering, but it's kind of cool. If we run that out over 3 years, and every third month your team is doubling, at the end of that third year, that last month, you would be pulling in $18,000 a month.
Oh
Okay?
my.
Yeah. Oh my. Remember, when I came online and started marketing online, I didn't make anything for 5 years. If you could show me something that in a 3-year period, I'd be making $18,000 a month,
Hmm.
I'm in. I don't even need to see anything. I'm just in. This is what compounding is all about. And when you listen to Ash Mufareh, he's not going to share the compensation program with us. So this is just an illustration of what compounding can do.
Mhm.
Okay. Everything I've just told you, think bigger. Okay.
Wow.
If your goal was to bring in $500 a month, think bigger, double it. If it was 1,000, think bigger, double it. If it was 2,000, think bigger, guys. If we look at a 3-year period, and Michael Williams is the best at explaining this time frame, he really is.
All right.
He's just really good, very, very conservative, makes perfect sense. I don't go there because I'm not conservative. I look at the numbers as I believe they're going to be. And if I told you what I thought was really going to happen, Ash would probably fire me. And I mean that sincerely. He would probably fire me.
Oh,
Because Marty would probably never talk to me because I'm off the wall. I love the numbers. And when I look at them, especially the other things that are coming, the things that you haven't seen, there are things coming. They're going to blow you away. And when you start thinking about, when you see them, you're going to, I need to think bigger, period. So that's as far as I can get into the numbers, Comfort. I can't get into any specifics.
Oh,
It's illustrative, no guarantees, but believe me, you're going to like what you see.
I think that's mind blowing enough. So you don't want to get into the numbers and get somebody crazy. So let's keep.
No, we'll stick with apples.
Let's keep it.
We'll stick with apples.
Right. Right. Thank you so much. I don't know. They keep coming. Last one now, Mike.
That's okay. Okay.
Let's talk a bit about bonus. This is something that is causing another trouble somewhere, right? People are like, bonus is going to, because bonus, personally, I don't really think about bonus, but people are like, oh, bonus is going to be paid from everything, the team that you have been building and so on. On the other hand, others say, no, you're going to get bonus just from the people that join in during soft launch. Which is which?
Let's talk about bonuses.
All right.
I can talk about the bonus in the soft launch. Okay. Now, for me personally, I don't care. I honestly don't care about the bonus in the soft launch. The soft launch is going to be such a narrow time frame. I don't care. Whatever you get, that'll be nice. And the bonus, I don't know if I can say this on a public webinar or not. Comfort.
Just try to be as careful as you can be.
Yeah. If you are a founding member, go into your back office, and on the left-hand column, you'll see bonus. Okay. Click on that and run over. You can play with that. Okay. Mm-hmm. Whether Ash pays you for personals, whether he pays you $20 a personal, for people that come in on your team, whether they pay you $2 or $3, you can play with that and see what you're going to make. But the bonus in the soft launch is just for the new people you bring in or your team brings in during that soft launch. Okay. And again, that period is going to be very, very narrow. I don't think about the bonus. I don't care about the bonus. I don't care if I make anything. I want to go into the hard launch. That's where you're going to get really excited. That's exactly right. That's where you're going to get really, really excited. Yeah. So don't spend too much effort worrying about a bonus that's going to be here for such a short period of time. Now, let's get to the bonuses in the hard launch. Now you can get excited. Okay. Yeah. And I can't talk about any of that.
All right.
All I can tell you is they're coming. That should be enough to keep you up, period.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's just exciting.
Put that compounding in there. Think about the bonuses and don't sleep for a week. You'll have great days.
Exactly. It's just already exciting enough to think that there are going to be bonuses during soft launch before what we already have an idea is going to happen. It's such a blessing we've never seen before, right?
And for some people, it'll be very nice to get those bonuses. But I'm telling you, it's just a prelude.
Yeah.
The better show is coming.
Sure.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow. It's been such a sweet time together, Mike. I'm so happy and I appreciate you for your patience with me.
No.
Yes, thank you so much.
Yeah. Comfort, you're a dream. You just keep doing what you're doing. Yeah, believe me, keep doing what you're doing.
All right.
It's going to be fun.
Thank you so much.
You're
so
welcome.
Guys, whoever is joining, share this video, just share it with your friends, share it with family, loved ones. There are times, Mike, I tell people that if you have enemies now, let's just pretend that we're friends. Share with your enemies first. And then after that, tell them if you want to be enemies again, you can go ahead and because it's an opportunity to just share.
And if they're your enemy, they're going to be your friend after ONPASSIVE launches. That's exactly. A good thing.
Right, exactly. So thank you so much, Mike. And we hope to hear from you again really, really soon. Thank you.
Comfort, anytime you want to do this, you just call, we'll do it.
All right. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you, Comfort. I've really enjoyed it. Thanks. Thanks so much.
Thanks. All right. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.